Welcome to this season preview podcast. This season preview is for the Troopers. The Troopers are from Casper, Wyoming. Their best finish came in 1973 when they finished in second place. Although that was 2 years into DCI, it still counts. They've been a DCI semifinalist for 11 consecutive seasons in a row. They are a 9-time DCI class finalist. Last year, though, I guess you could say it was a bit of a disappointment for the Troopers, and really that just comes with everybody bringing their game night in, night out, and really just stepping up to the next design level. Finished 17th with an 81.788 at season's end. To make finals, for reference, you have to have an 85, 86, maybe even higher this year with everybody else really stepping up their game. So the Troopers will kick things off on June 21st with the Mid-Cal Champions Showcase in Clovis, California. This show features Vanguard, the Blue Devils, the Cavaliers, the Mandarins, then the Academy, then the Troopers. That same lineup those same corps will go on to then perform at DCI West on the 22nd and the Moonlight Classic on the 23rd. You see DCI West there in green font. That is because that is a show that can be streamed live on Flow Marching. I always like that show because that's our first look at the West Coast corps in uniform with props, doing the whole show, all that. Then they have a few days off after Sacramento. June 28th, they join back in with some other corps at the Crest, San Diego, and Vista, California. You add Genesis to this show, you add Pacific Crest to this show, and you add the Blue Knights to this show. June 29th, then, is Drum Corps at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. That is another show that can be caught on Flow Marching. I like this show this year, too, because we add in those 3 other corps as well. June 30th, then, they round out the month of June with the Western Corps Connection in San Bernardino. Start off July down in the Southwest in Mesa, Arizona for Drums Across the Desert. You go from the Southwest of the United States, really the most Southwest the tour goes, I mean, other than California, and then they go to pretty much almost the northernmost the DCI tour goes, up into Washington and Oregon. July 5th and July 6th, they're up in Washington for Drums of Fire and the Seattle Summer Music Games. And then July 8th, they'll stay in Washington for Drums Along the Columbia. July 9th, then they'll be in Boise, Idaho. July 10th, Corps Encore in Utah. Then a day off, and then July 12th, they'll be back in action with their home show, Drums Along the Rockies Casper Edition in Casper, Wyoming, Corps' hometown. Following night, July 13th, they'll be at Drums Along the Rockies in Denver, Colorado. Catch that one on Flow Marching. Then the following week, the Troopers kind of do the same thing the Blue Knights do, where they're not really in the Midwest for too long. You think like Midwest, I'm talking as Kansas, Illinois, Missouri, those states. And they're not there very long. They have one show, Brass Impact in Olathe, Kansas, on July 15th, and then they're right down for Texas tour. So that comes kind of as a result of going west, or being out west and doing these Rocky Mountain region shows, and also because the tour never gets to wrap around there again because it just stops in Indianapolis. So when they do go down for Texas tour, where actually the Troopers, if you think about it, most of their membership, I believe I'd be correct to say, comes from Texas. I mean, you could say most of DCI membership comes from Texas, but I'm pretty sure the Troopers are one of those corps, along with, you think, kind of like the same way the Boston Crusaders get talent from Florida. You think some of Vanguard's membership, most of Vanguard's membership, at least in years prior, has been from Texas. The Troopers are one of those corps as well. And really, the big idea coming off, or the big idea I'm trying to push there is that Paul Rennick is at Texas, or at North Texas, so that kind of brings in some of that talent, and it also allows them to recruit a little easier down in Texas. So they'll be at Denton at North Texas on July 18th, and then July 20th, our first look at everybody with the DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio. So then this final part of the schedule for the Troopers, it starts in Texas, ends in Indy. Fill in the blanks in the middle. So starting on July 22nd, they'll be in Mesquite, Texas for DCI Mesquite. Then they'll travel across the Southeast. You have a show in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You have a show in Trussville, Alabama, and then the DCI Southeastern Championship in Atlanta on July 27th. They'll travel north then on the 28th pretty much. Then they'll be in Centerville, Ohio for Soaring Sounds on July 29th. A few days off then, you get the 30th, 31st off then. They're back in action August 1st in Rome, New York for Drums Along the Mohawk. August 2nd, Friday night of DCI East, they'll be in Allentown. August 4th, DCI Pittsburgh, and then World Championships August 8th through the 10th in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Troopers 2019 drum major, the only one they have publicly announced, is Savannah Light. Savannah Light, she is the first female drum major in corps history for the Troopers. So now the main staff for the Troopers. You see a bunch of names listed here, whether it's brass caption heads, brass managers, whatever it is. The top of the line in each caption and on the artistic front is listed here. Starting at the top here, Michael Ottos is Executive Director for the Troopers. He is an alumni of the Troopers. He is a member of the Troopers Hall of Fame and is a former DCI Volunteer of the Year. He currently serves as the treasurer of the Wyoming All-State Marching Band Board of Directors. Christy Jackson is the corps director for the Troopers. Her direct involvement with the Troopers began in the 2011 season when she became a volunteer in the corps' bingo hall. She was on the admin team in 2012, then was the assistant corps director in 2017. This year will be her first as corps director. Adam Sage is artistic director for the Troopers, and he has a really lengthy background in the activity, and I'm just going to tell you some of it here, and it's a lot. Adam Sage, he's the artistic director. This is his second season in this position. He's worked with many high school programs in the nation, including Tarpon Springs Outdoor Performance Ensemble in Florida, one of the top marching bands in the nation. The Cavaliers, Phantom Regiment, Santa Clara Vanguard, among others, he has worked with. He was with Santa Clara Vanguard, actually, last season during their brilliant show. He was a big piece in the design of that show. He's been a designer and choreographer for the East Coweta Winter Guard in Georgia. That's a high school winter guard. The Yokohama Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps in Japan. Jupiter High School in Florida, Stoneman Douglas High School Winter Guard in Florida, and the South Florida Independent Winter Guard in Florida. He also is currently the artistic director and color guard co-director at Park Vista High School in Florida, really an up-and-coming band program in the nation, and also currently holds the position of visual coordinator at the Cadets. So a lot about Adam Sage. Paul Rennick. He is the percussion director and arranger. He is the 2017, or is a 2017 DCI Hall of Fame member. He is the assistant professor in percussion at the University of North Texas and the percussion coordinator for the nationally recognized University of North Texas Green Brigade Marching Band. Rennick also has worked with Blast and is possibly the greatest of all time in percussion performance in DCI and in the marching arts. Of course, Rennick also works with Santa Clara Vanguard. John Meehan, he is the brass arranger. This is his first year with the Troopers. He currently works with Allen High School, the Allen Eagle Escadrille in Texas, the biggest high school marching band program in the nation, 800 plus members strong. That is unbelievable. He also currently works with American Fork High School in Utah, another band program that is, I might say up and coming, but also just very successful. Also works with Homestead High School in California and the Kids Grove Scouts, a member of Drum Corps Europe, among others. He marched at the Blue Devils as well, and of course works with them as well. Sandy Rennick is Paul Rennick's wife. She is another percussion arranger for the Troopers. Greg Dalton is the drill designer. He marched the Bluecoats from 2004 to 2008 and worked with the Blue Stars and Genesis in the past. And now Greg resides in Miamisburg, Ohio, where he works as a full-time drill designer and clinician. Bill Hawks is assistant brass, or I should say first, Tim Leonelli is brass caption manager. Bill Hawks is the assistant brass caption head. He is a Cadets alum from 83 to 85, and then worked with the Crossmen from 1986 to 1991, and then again from 2013 to 15. He worked with Genesis starting in 2016 and has also worked with North Penn High School in Pennsylvania, one of the most successful band programs in the state of Pennsylvania. I'd say they probably are one of the top 10, if not definitely top 20. Lauren Teal is the percussion caption head. Danielle Schweiger is color guard caption head. Tim Cody is color guard caption manager, and Robert Blake is visual caption head for the Troopers. The Troopers 2019 production, it is entitled Beyond Boundaries, and when they first announced this in February, nobody knew what this was about. Really based on, I believe there was a Flow Marching interview with Christy Jackson, the corps director, and she kind of said that really the show title is applied in the core this year of how they're kind of trying to push themselves to new standards. Honestly, at first I thought this was a show about like breaking down barriers and stuff like that. But now, as they've released more about it, it comes clear it seems like a space show. Fear the Troopers, is a space show really the best for you this year? I'll let anyone watching this decide that for themselves. But in years past, I'll get to in my repertoire rundown real quick after this, looking at the Troopers recap of last year, they really go from everything from like 20th and then down to 16th. So it's going to be a big year for the Troopers because you've got to move up, because there's corps going up and there's corps going up at a slower pace, and the Troopers are one of them. And if they want to make finals, they're going to have to do something miraculous, I'll tell you that. I think the Troopers' big goal this year, and I usually don't say this, but I think the Troopers' big goal this year would be to provide the audience with an engaging performance, a good performance, and to have fun. Usually I'd be like, you have a goal, you have to finish 12th. I'm not going to say that. I don't know if the Troopers are close to making finals. I haven't seen anything from them this preseason yet, except for the show reveal and the uniforms and repertoire, as I'll get to in a minute, which kind of go in the show reveal thing as well. It's gonna be a big year because if I had to assign them a goal, I'd say have fun, whatever I just said, but also you have to finish like 14th or 15th, and that's gonna be extremely difficult this season. So the repertoire for the Troopers, I'll run through this real quick and then just give a little bit of analysis. So starting at the top here, Divertimento for band Opus 42 by Vincent Persichetti, Enterprising Young Men by Michael Giacchino, Wondrous Light by John Astasio, To the Stars by Randy Edelman, Chorale 6, Cantus, Song of Aeolus by Carl Jenkins, and main title from the Orville by Bruce Broughton. It seems as though the Troopers have put a lot of thought into the musical repertoire, and that they've tried their best to really secure an engaging musical performance. But as we all know, you have to also connect on other fronts. I'm going to take a look verbally here at the Troopers recap of last year. In general effect, in semifinals, the Troopers, by one of the judges, got 19th. You would throw Vanguard Cadets, you'd throw Blue Devils B ahead of them, and you could also say that they're no longer touring and they won't be at semifinals, but still kind of disappointing. You go across then and you say an overall general effects score in 17th place, a little bit behind the Madison Scouts, less than a 10th. Go over to visuals, 17th, 20th, 19th, and you get a 19th overall finish in visual. The Troopers really have to improve visually this year, and I think that they can, but you've got to do stuff that they haven't before. Music, you have a brass score of 19th, you have an average musical analysis score of 16th, and you have a percussion score of 15th, overall music score in 17th, 3/10 behind the Madison Scouts. The Troopers have to push the expectation up this year in order to improve. Because you've got other corps that are going to rocket up. I see it already. I see corps from like 13th to 17th just going to shoot up. If the Troopers can shoot up, great for them. But honestly, do you see it? Because I'm struggling to do so. So, the 2019 uniforms for the Troopers. Here they are. And they're different. They're not what we expect from the Troopers. The one in the middle, that's the drum major. That's that uniform. The two female performers behind the drum major then are, I'm assuming, color guard, because just judging the pants aren't the gray, they're just like one uniform. And then if you look at all the other members, with the exception of the one male member on the left in the middle, that would be, those are all the corps proper uniforms, brass, percussion, whatever else. So, you say, do I think the Troopers make the top 12? Probably not. Would I love to see it? Yes, I'd love to see every corps make the top 12. But, you know, we gotta draw a line somewhere. The Troopers are in a position that they kind of always are in. They got up there. They were like 13th or 14th, and now they've kind of slid down. You gotta do something to get back. So, just a few things before I end this season preview. One, make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI Summer Tour. Score schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found at my own personal website for all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCoreGeek and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Show Day Podcast, as I've rebranded the podcast this season. And one final thing here is that if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, whatever else for me, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'll make sure to reply to you as soon as I see the comment. Really, especially I want to hear from if you're somebody inside the Troopers, whether, mainly if that's staff or not staff, but performers or maybe a parent or something of a core member. I want to know what's really happening, what like the real vibe is inside the core this year, because in order to really make accurate predictions like I'm trying to make, any type of feedback from inside each core helps. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever else, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.